Honorable Speaker, thank you very much to the Majority Leader for donating that time. As you are aware, Honorable Speaker, the State of the Nation address was given last week. My position has always been that because the rules require that the President be heard in silence, those of us who might feel strongly to raise objections, try and stay away from that debate. But I observed something very unique, Majority Leader, that this time around people were allowed to give feedback to the President when he was giving his speech. So maybe next year, now that a tradition has been set that you can stand up and clap and shout slogans, then probably some of us now are welcome to attend, Honorable Speaker, although we might have divergent views. Honorable Speaker, I will start off by my expectation whenever it comes to the State of the Nation, because this is a duty under Article 132(1)(c) that requires the President to elucidate the measures taken and the progress that has been achieved in achieving the national values that have been set out under Article 10, and to publish that those measures and the progress in Kenya Gazette, and lastly, Honorable Speaker, to report on the progress in fulfilling the international obligations that Kenya has signed up to. Speaker, unfortunately for me, just from the beginning there, when you see the way the head of state framed his understanding of Article 132, there is already a problem, because, Honorable Speaker, instead of focusing solely on those three areas that have been highlighted under Article 132, he frames the conversation, starting off there in the first paragraphs about a vision that he has to sell and a story that he has to tell, speaks about affordable homes, factories, hustler fund, promises made and promises kept. Unfortunately for me, Honorable Speaker, my expectation is that in the order in which Article 132 is framed, the vast majority of the time that the President takes to speak to the nation should be actually to address the values that are in Article 10 and what his government has done in the period since he last spoke in Parliament. By the way, I have seen references here to previous years, including 2022, when my understanding is, because it is an annual address, in my view, he should restrict himself to the measures that he has taken as a government in the last 12 months since he spoke last to Parliament and the progress that has been achieved. In fact, Honorable Speaker, you have to go all the way to paragraph 12 of the speech for you to encounter just a mention of the values under Article 10. Article 10, Honorable Speaker, has a total of 17 values. 17 values from patriotism all the way through national unity, devolution, rule of law, democracy, all the way to sustainable development. Honorable Speaker, therefore, it was a bit disappointing that that order was not, in my view, followed. So that you will see, Speaker, we have to come all the way to paragraph 26, from 24 to 26 there, when he's addressing the question of Kenya's meeting its international obligations. He has spoken about the Eurobond redemption, foreign reserves, international markets, Kenyans being upgraded by Kenya's sovereign credit rating being upgraded by Standard & Poor's, and so on and so forth. But, Speaker, what is required under Article 132 is that you spend a bit of time in addressing these 17 values. And my position, having gone through this speech, Honorable Speaker, of those 17 values, I have counted less than 5 that the President addressed directly. And I also want to say that just mentioning or listing the values is not providing a report to the nation on the measures that you've taken and the progress that has been achieved in those in achieving those values. So, Honorable Speaker, you come to the President's speech from paragraph 18 there. You will see that he goes straight on to say that in the address he will set out strategic choices, the reforms we will deepen, the sectors we will unlock, investments we will prioritize, which is futuristic language. These are the things that he's going to do. And in fact, Honorable Speaker, out of the 163 paragraphs in this speech, the President gave us the job of looking for these values in just 93 of those paragraphs. From paragraph 94, Honorable Speaker, all the way to 163, all he's talking about is his new vision. the promises that he's now making on questions like building of 50 mega dams, 10,000 megawatts of electricity in the next 7 years, 2,500 kilometers of roads that he says is going to do all, 228,000 kilometers for tarmacking that he has identified. Speaker, therefore, for some of us, we struggled trying to find where these values are and what measures he has taken in the past 12 months to be able to achieve them throughout this speech. And I will go one by one, Honorable Speaker, so that you can be able to see that what I am saying is actually factual. Speaker, I have spoken about the rights themselves. So the first time he attempts to discuss measures that he has taken to address any of the rights, any of the, what are they called? Any of the values in Article 10 is at paragraph 59, where he says he's turning to discuss healthcare as the foundation of human dignity, one of those values in Article 10. Honorable Speaker, just this morning, those of you who read the newspapers saw the sad story of one Wanjiku Kabita, who is stuck in India because her family is unable to pay medical fees. She suffers from kidney complications. Speaker, to me, really you cannot gloss over the issues in health. We as a House, yes, pass certain laws to bring into existence of the social health assurance, but the conversation about SHA cannot be complete without addressing the challenges that SHA is facing. Speaker, you know that SHA owes hospitals and other healthcare facilities a lot of money, and we have had repeated, in the past 12 months, repeated cases of hospitals shutting down or refusing or rejecting or turning away patients who are on SHA because they say that SHA is not remitting money back to them. You remember the rural and urban private hospital associations has had in the period between January and this month had more than once threatened to actually go on strike because these monies were not being remitted. Just the other week, I saw a statement from the Catholic bishops as well, Honorable Speaker, calling on the government to remit monies owed to faith-based health facilities. So these challenges, you cannot have a conversation about healthcare, and he has said is the foundation of human dignity, without addressing the indignity that Kenyans continue to face because of lack of affordable care. Last week, I think this House was again discussing a statement from the Senator of Kiambu about mothers and newborns still being detained in hospitals because, Honorable Speaker, we do not have sufficient funding from SHA to be able to take care of these bills. Then, Honorable Speaker, the second one, he spoke about the education sector. And, Honorable Speaker, everybody knows the issues that have bedeviled the education sector in the past 12 months. Speaker, as we speak today, the JS interns who are supposed to be employed on permanent and pensionable, their contracts are expiring this December. Now, one cabinet secretary stood up and told the teachers that there was about 6 billion. That was the CS for Treasury. 6 billion earmarked on for the absorption of these JS teachers. There are about 20,000 of them on permanent and pensionable basis. Speaker, another CS from the same government, this time the one in charge of education, says there is nothing like that. So the uncertainty, I thought that the president would utilize this opportunity to clear that uncertainty and tell the teachers, the 20,000 JS teachers, whether his government is going to put them on permanent and pensionable or not, so that they can enjoy their Christmas with the rest of the family, of their families with that certainty. Honorable Speaker, we are being faced with a spectre that come January, the free day secondary education that has been existing since Kibaki's time might not continue, because we have seen a circular from government that we are going back to the 2015, what is it called, the Gazette from 2015, that does not factor in that amount that was being paid by government for the day scholars in the secondary schools. Now, a president who has such an opportunity, I thought he would take that time to be able to calm the nerves of the anxious parents in this country and tell them that there will be no removal or the discontinuation of the free day secondary education in Nairobi. We also had in the past 12 months, Honorable Speaker, strikes in our universities that have affected especially the first years who are reporting. You are aware, Honorable Speaker, that there were on the streets, the lecturers, for over 60 days. I think it was a good opportunity for the president, as a head of state, to take that opportunity to explain to the country what he's going to do in order that we resolve the crisis that happen from day to day in the education sector. I want to move very quickly, Honorable Speaker. If you go to paragraph 94, Speaker, those things I have debated here, I've discussed here, are the only references I see to the values in Article 10 of the Constitution. So from paragraph 94, where the head of state says, having set out the work of the last 3 years, it would be easy, almost comfortable to pause, congratulate ourselves, and settle into the warmth of modest progress. Now, from this particular paragraph, Honorable Speaker, he believes that he has fulfilled the requirement under Article 132(1)(c) of reporting on the measures his government has taken and the progress that has been achieved, which I argue has not happened. From there on, Honorable Speaker, we get into discussions. I think there are at least 15 to 20 paragraphs here where the president is just talking about the history of the Asian tigers. This is 20 paragraphs. That Asian tigers debate, Honorable Speaker, has nothing to do with the values in Article 10. Then, of course, the favorite conversations are around things that allow for, people to be able to engage in construction. I think the president's favorite thing is construction. He has told us himself that housing and markets and the others are his favorite thing, and they are the indicators that his government is working. So he quickly goes into the things that he thinks are Kenyans' priorities. He starts with the 50,000 mega dams, Honorable Speaker, the 10,000 megawatts of electricity in the next 7 years, then the 2,500 kilometers of roads for tarmacking. Speaker, this is not what that speech is supposed to be for. That speech should be heavy on the things you have done to address the software of this country, and that software, Honorable Speaker, is in the discussion about devolution, rule of law, democracy, human dignity, equality, human rights, non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. In the entire speech, Honorable Speaker, there is no mention of that, any of those values. Even for us as a House, we should be concerned that the entire speech mentions nothing to do with devolution, Honorable Speaker, given the challenges we face as senators. And I am happy that in the crowd of people who are applauding this speech, I didn't see senators there. Otherwise, I would have been extremely embarrassed because, Honorable Speaker, every day here we lament that devolution is not working. How can you therefore be applauding when an entire speech has nothing to do with devolution, Honorable Speaker? And I want to challenge any member of this House. Before you rise on a point of order, show us where in the speech the president addresses the problems of devolution.
Is it point of order or point of information? Then maybe I ask him whether he is interested in to be informed. Can you conclude within
Honorable Speaker, I don't want to be informed by Senator Cherargei because I was watching those proceedings from the safety of my bar. I didn't see the senators. And if there were senators who are uploading a speech that has no mention of the problems of devolution, shame on you. And you should not ever complain here again about whether devolution is working or not working, because how can you upload such a speech? I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for donating time to me.
Next, Senator Chute Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me also to make my statement on the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, Dr. RUTO. Allow me also to commend His Excellency, the President, on comprehensive, visionary, and strongly grounded and worded address. I also would want to emphasize on a few remarks made by His Excellency. Truly, inflation has been controlled under 4.6%. We have a reserve of 12 billion shillings. That is very stable and progressive. Honorable Speaker, if you look at agriculture, I have a farm in Naivasha. And because of, I know Senator Chergey is, shocked. I have a farm in Naivasha. Yes, I have a farm in Naivasha, near the president's farm. So, because of the cost of fertilizer, yes, we are neighbors. Honorable Speaker, because of the cost of fertilizers that has reduced drastically, we had made bumper harvest of maize for the last 3 consecutive harvesting period. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, you've seen the production of 70 million bags of maize. And this, Honorable Speaker, this is less than 10% of arable land we have in this country. And maize growth maybe is about 5%. What we need, Honorable Speaker, is we need distribution gaps of fertilizers. That also should be taken care of on the agriculture side. Honorable Speaker, something very, very important the President has talked about is the issue of large dams, medium dams, and small-scale dams, the small ones. Honorable Speaker, if I give you a place like Marsabit, the example of a place like Marsabit, Honorable Speaker, if today we have dams in Marsabit County, in Turkana County, around Ukambani area, Honorable Speaker, I'll tell you, we'll be having extra produce to send to our neighboring countries. And I want to thank the President for even talking about the 5 trillion investment he is looking for. And he has broken them into small pieces on how this money will be generated. And I really support that. And the reason why I should support this is today, for the last many years, we have been being fed by relief supplies in Marsabit County, Wajir County, Mandera County, Turkana County, and many other northern counties. And if we have dams, the program he has shown, if that program is going to be successful, then I will tell you today this country will change. Honorable Speaker, on the issue of Social Health Authority, SHA, Honorable Speaker, recently I had, some months back, had a patient who was brought to Nyeri, and he was operated on. He had 2 surgeries. And both surgeries, Honorable Speaker, were paid for by SHA, the tune of 800,000 shillings. And this is an old man who is very poor. Although we've added some few coins on top of what SHA has given, I think that is a very positive move, and maybe in future, in the near future, looking at the vision of the President, I think the whole country will be covered by SHA. When we were in Logologo, Marsabit County, on Sunday the other week, the President was there. The President said, in Kiswahili, muende hospitali, SHA mi ndio nitalipa pesa. Says, go to the hospital, SHA will pay you. I will pay you. And I was asking, how can this happen? Then yesterday, I had a time to go and sit with the SHA CEO, and I asked her what that meant. And she told me very clearly, anything from rural hospitals managed by the counties will be free. But what is happening, Honorable Speaker, there is 13 billion shillings, which is supposed to be paid to the counties, and unfortunately, counties are not capable of managing those hospitals. From level 1 to level 4, level 3, they have not claimed that money, and this money is still lying with SHA, and I hope and wish the governors can take some action and see how our people can be managed, can be easily helped by giving them access to hospitals. Honorable Speaker, the issue that has to be fast-tracked is on national audit of SHA, on reimbursement appeal system has to be hastened so that claims can be paid very fast. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, in this House, I've said this House some time back, the affordable housing is a scam. I want to retract that wording now because I have seen units being built in Nakuru, Eldoret, Mombasa, Nairobi, Marsabit, Isiolo, Meru, everywhere. And people, our people are really happy. And something the President has forgotten to mention, Honorable Speaker, we have commercial developers doing a lot of development in this country. If you go to Isli, South C, South B, Parklands, Kilimani, and many, many other places, they have invested heavily, and this is a huge contribution to this country. That is what should be also, the President should have mentioned, that they have contributed heavily to the development of this country. Honorable Speaker, there is issues we need to also discuss about universities. Funding model still is a challenge. I think the President needs to work on that one and see, definitely through the Treasury, Ministry of Education, to see how this can be rescued. Honorable Speaker, let me come to cost of living. Honorable Speaker, if you look at electricity cost in Ethiopia, is 1 birr per kilowatt hour. That means it's about 90 cents Kenya shillings per kilowatt hour. What do we have in Kenya, Honorable Speaker? 27 shillings per kilowatt hour. How do you expect the cost of living to be lower than any other East African countries? Let me give you an example of Ethiopia. The electricity capacity they are producing, Honorable Speaker, is 13,000 megawatts plus. What do we produce in Kenya? 2,700. You've heard the President talking about rationing. Imagine countries like Ethiopia, if you talk about rationing, they will be laughing at you. They have already given us 200 megawatts of electricity and 100 to Tanzania. So I will urge the President to talk to his counterpart, the Prime Minister, Ethiopian Prime Minister, and see if we can be given more supplies of more electricity into Kenya, because we have got a line which is capable of taking 2,000 megawatts. Honorable Speaker, the cost of living will not go down because of the issues of wealth. This needs to be tackled. If you want to, I don't know after how many years, if you want to take the model of Singapore, there are so many things we must do. And the President cannot be one-man army. He has to be, he has a vision. He's trying to tell his visions to us. But we have to, as politicians, as people of this country, we have to support him to make sure that his vision and dream comes true. That is how we are looking at Singapore. The other issue, Honorable Speaker, in Marsabit, there are so many roads that has told. Because of securitization of the money, he borrowed 75 billion. All those roads are now operational.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, why are you too stern today? What is the problem? You are too strict. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I want to register my appreciation to colleagues who have at least taken time to agree, disagree, critique, Mr. Speaker, the President's speech. There is a culture, Senator Mungatana, that is fast disappearing from Parliament. And as an elder, you need to be worried. This is no longer a house of debate. And it should concern anybody that loves the legislature. Much as I don't agree with many of the things Senator Sifuna says sometimes here, at least I appreciate one thing, that when he went around Nairobi and sought the opportunity to serve and represent those people here, he does that job here every afternoon. What I find difficult, dear colleagues, is for people to campaign so hard. And account is a difficult thing. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, you know, people even don't know that we earn the same salary with members of the National Assembly. Yet we represent and do a job that is 4, 5, 6, or even 17 times what they do in terms of representation, Mr. Speaker. Yet, after doing all that difficult task, Mr. Speaker, you find people not getting the time to come to the House. That really bothers me. I must appreciate that at least, unlike last year, today we went to the second, actually the third session of debate, because we did this speech yesterday afternoon, today in the morning, and this afternoon because of our colleagues who have spoken about it. Last year, actually, we concluded on the first session, because I don't know for what reason you couldn't find enough people to debate and say the things that they were saying. So I want to register my appreciation to colleagues who have taken time to read the 163 paragraphs of this speech and given their evaluation and their assessment. There are many that have agreed with the proposals that are being made by the President and the call to action that he's giving to the nation on the things that needs to be achieved. Mr. Speaker, there are those that disagree as well. I agree, Mr. Speaker, with colleagues that are saying there are certain aspects that should have been mentioned and probably did not feature. But Mr. Speaker, you know, there were days we used to go to the State of the Nation address and you sit there for 3 hours. In fact, I remember the former president another time, he threw away half of his speech and said, these things are too much, I've said enough that I need to say. But when you are a leader that appreciates what you are saying, Mr. Speaker, you limit yourself to that which you feel is most fundamental at that particular time. And I feel strongly, Mr. Speaker, that the President took time to address the issues of the progress that his administration has made the last 3 years, and now setting the solid foundation for what we need to do in the years that are coming. Mr. Speaker, we must appreciate that what part of the biggest deficiency that this country suffers is that we want to politicize everything. That we reduce our national conversations to be you must win or I must lose conversations, Mr. Speaker. We must rise and get to a point of having a vision that we agree to as a nation. And then we all aspire. And it will not matter who is president, who is senator, who is governor. We just know that these are the things that we are focusing on for the next 10, 15, or 20 years. Mr. Speaker, you know, many times when people speak about the things that have happened in this country, you would think that there was no country before 2022. There was a nation. There were challenges. If you speak about the education sector, for example, is it not true, Mr. Speaker, that in the last 3 years under this administration, what is the biggest challenge that many of the constituents, for example, the people that I represent in this house, ask us about? They tell you that we need enough teachers to teach our students, because the worst thing that can happen to a parent is to send your child to a public institution and there is no teacher to teach them. We were in a situation, Mr. Speaker, where in certain schools, you are finding that one teacher was teaching 3 or 4 subjects because there are not enough people. The progress that has been made of employing close to 80,000 teachers up to this point is significant progress and need to be noted. The second thing, Mr. Speaker, that we struggle about is infrastructure. I went through public education, and I know today when I visit, for example, Unity Primary School, where I went to school, Mr. Speaker, I feel troubled because the kids squeeze themselves in a tiny little room, close to 100 children, particularly in cities, a place like Nairobi here, Mr. Speaker, where many children go to public institutions, Mr. Speaker, don't have sufficient infrastructure. This government has put in place the sufficient resources first to build across the country 23,000 classrooms to take care of the transition that is happening from the former education 844 to CBE, competent-based education, Mr. Speaker, and the rest of the things that need to be done. Therefore, you can record, and that's what we have said. While it is good to say the things that are not up to par in all our sectors, we must never forget where we have come from and what has been done. You can say the same about the health sector. Speak to your governor, Governor Mutuma, and he will tell you, Mr. Speaker, that part of the bigger problem that many of our county hospitals used to face from the defunct NHIF is that when they offered services to citizens, many of our public hospitals would actually wait for a year or two before being paid. That is no longer the case. We have challenged, and I'm happy because we are all in this house, and I hope CS Duale meant what he said when he promised us that before the end of the mandatory 1 year, 3 months period that we have given them under the Section 43 of the Social Health Authority Act, he will bring a report to this house. And I mentioned to him and I said, I want to see that report detailed, name by name, the institutions that have been compensated in my own county. Because I want to go there and see Cheborgei Health Center. How much in compensation have they received over the last 1 year? Because that is the only way you're going to build a credible public health infrastructure, Mr. Speaker. One that is supported by payments from the national coverage that citizens are receiving. As we speak today, Mr. Speaker, you cannot argue with the fact that there are 28 million Kenyans that are registered under SHA. They register themselves, 50,000 of them each day. Do you know why they are registering? It's because they hear from their neighbor that when I was unwell, my bill was 600,000-700,000, SHA paid for me 200,000 or 300,000. And that means a lot to the ordinary folk in the village. Mr. Speaker, we must establish ways through which we will provide medicine in our health facilities. It is the biggest concern each time, it's the biggest concern that citizens raise, for example, with me as a representative each time when I speak in public engagements and ask them to register on SHA, because they tell me, then tell the governors to put medicine in the hospitals, because it's not sufficient just to walk there. Mr. Speaker, there have been arguments that have been made also about the lack of address to national values and principles of governance. My colleague, Senator Sifuna, the last paragraph of that article that you read speaks about sustainable development, development that transitions from one generation to the other. I believe that is what the president is speaking to in the last 45 paragraphs of his speech, the things that we must do as a republic. And he asked the questions in this speech, Mr. Speaker, that, for example, when we did privatization of Telcom, when we did privatization of Kenjet, when we did privatization of Safaricom, where did those funds go? We consumed it all in salaries. That's why we are saying we must be a people that inflect and reflect and learn from the mistakes of the past. That's why we are proposing this time and saying that if we carry out any privatization like what is being done with pipeline and all the rest that are following, we must put it in a national sovereign wealth fund like other countries do, funds that will only be invested in making our country better. I believe that is part of sharing the burden from one generation to the other, and so many other things that can be done. What I want to challenge in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, because I know my time is up and I don't want to speak a lot because my colleague have said very, very important things, is as a house, what I expect us to do come 2026, Mr. Speaker, is in so many of these solid programs that are being proposed, where I feel we have let the people of Kenya down is on our oversight as an institution of governance in this country, Mr. Speaker. There are many programs, Mr. Speaker, that have been done and they are running out within the circles of public, Mr. Speaker, yet there are questions that citizens continue to raise, which they expect that us as their representatives, we will speak about them to fine-tune, from the affordable housing program to social health to this one of the sovereign wealth. Senator Mungatana, we must be the voice that continue to check and ensure the dream that we had when we passed those laws is implemented to the letter. My dear colleagues, there is what the executive can do. There is what also we must do as a legislature. And it is not in our place. We must compete. For example, I have challenged and I have told the House that as we receive the reports of, for example, the markets and the houses that are being built across the country, we must see the national spread. You must see significant markets of 700, 800, 900 million shillings being built in Tana River the same way they are being built in other parts of the country. That is our duty. And we must ensure that as the president and the executive do their part, we also do our part, Mr. Speaker. That is what we are called upon to. Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply and do ask my colleagues to take note of the fact that besides the speech of the State of the Nation, Mr. Speaker, that the president gave, there are other reports that are also tabled alongside, including the report on the state of security, the report on the progress made in fulfilling international obligations. Those are very important, Mr. Speaker, because, for example, why I'm speaking, Speaker, allow me just 30 seconds to say this. It's because, for example, I know Kenya signs, what are they called? The name disappears from my mind right now. The economic agreements, SIPA, you know, comprehensive economic partnership agreements with other countries, including countries like those in the Middle East, Mr. Speaker. It is the time has come for us as members of this House to look into the details of those agreements and see what the host countries give as their commitment, Mr. Speaker, in ensuring that the fundamental rights of the citizens from this country that work in those countries are guaranteed, Mr. Speaker. It is not fair for many of our young people that we see working, particularly in the Middle East, Mr. Speaker, and occasionally we keep seeing videos of them being harassed. Some of them are killed, Mr. Speaker, yet it is without consequence. There must be a consequence to the host country, Mr. Speaker, because all those agreements are signed and approved and ratified by this House. Therefore, it is our duty to ensure that we follow through, to ensure that Kenyans who work in those countries, Mr. Speaker, their rights are guaranteed. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply. Finally, Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 66.3, I request for the Department of the putting of a question until a later date. I thank you.
Very well, the putting of the question has been defined. We go to, okay, sorry. Honorable Senators, I want to reorganize order of business this afternoon. We defer order number 10 to order number 14. Those are committee of the whole. We go to order number 15.
Order number 15, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a petition by Mr. Francis Otieno regarding compensation to sugarcane crop damaged by the Department of Public Works, Roads, Energy and Transport in Pap Oriang in Siaya County.
This motion was discussed on Wednesday, 19th November 2025, afternoon sitting. Senator Nderito Kenywa has a balance of 16 minutes if he is around. If he is not, then we go to Senator Mungatana Danson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to debate this report. Mr. Speaker, this report was occasioned by one Mr. Francis Otieno, who wanted compensation for the damage on his sugarcane crop by the Department of Public Works, Roads, Energy and Transport in Pap/Oriang in Siaya County. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the efforts by the petitioner who sought that the Senate committee would intervene and help him out solve this problem. Mr. Speaker, the chair of this committee, I want to appreciate the work they put in. Senator Migori County, together with the team of honorable members from here, they went to hear this member, Mr. Speaker, and the complaint that he had. But Mr. Speaker, having listened to what the petitioner had put before the House, and having looked at all the factors that influenced their decision, I'm convinced that our Senate committee, in a way, did not do what our citizen expected of them. Mr. Speaker, if you look at what the committee has recommended, The committee made an interesting recommendation. The committee said that when the matter was initially presented to the Senate, the information indicated the existence of a dispute between the petitioner and a contractor hired by the county government. However, further interrogation of the matter revealed that this was a private dispute between the petitioner and the contractor, Mr. Ainia Odhiambo. The committee therefore recommends that the petitioner refers the matter to the appropriate bodies mandated to arbitrate or adjudicate private disputes. So, Mr. Speaker, the question that begs is that if you are seized of the matter and a citizen has come and made an appeal before the Senate committee and they have done all the due diligence, why can't the Senate committee at least give an opinion and give a finding that yes, there is a genuine complaint, that yes, the road was diverted from the initial direction to another direction, that yes, sugarcane crop valued this amount was destroyed, and that yes, the petitioner is entitled to compensation. Mr. Speaker, all this was not done. Instead, our petitioner, who saw that this is his last resort to getting justice, was again referred to other adjudicative bodies. Mr. Speaker, I believe that we have power to deal with matters such as this, and an opinion of the Senate committee, which we would adopt here in the House as the opinion of the Senate, would have added weight, even if it would have meant that the petitioner should follow up with other due processes. It would have added weight. But, Mr. Speaker, for the committee to tell us that they should just ask the petitioner to simply go to other adjudicative bodies, I feel that justice was not meted to the petitioner, the citizen who came before the Senate. And, Mr. Speaker, if this was the case from the very beginning, they should have said this at the very beginning. But to take time and get a citizen to put all the effort and then you leave him high and dry, I don't think this is the correct thing that the committee did, Mr. Speaker. And maybe going forward, we need to review our approach to these matters. But having said this, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the petitioner that he should not give up, that what you have done, your work that you have done, your sugar cane must not go to waste. The damages that you have incurred, you must pursue them so that you can get your right. Because it is not right. Mr. Speaker, when a farmer goes into the processes of farming, they spend a lot of money, Mr. Speaker. They spend a lot of energy, Mr. Speaker. And for some of us, it's also emotional when you see the crop coming up and the way it is looking green and the way it is swinging with the wind in our custom. People have created songs about food crops. When the rice is swinging in the air, Mr. Speaker, our people have created songs. There is cultural attachment to crop for those who are serious farmers. So, Mr. Speaker, for your crop to just be damaged, not by natural resources, natural circumstances such as flooding or change of weather or excess rains, but by a tractor that comes just because they have decided to change the road, they come into your land, and as they came to the petitioner's land here, Mr. Speaker, it is wrong. And this is why this man came to this Senate. And, Mr. Speaker, for the committee to tell them to go and get other adjudicative remedies, I think we didn't do justice. And the point must be made to the county government and to the public works department. They must be sensitive to our people, our citizens. They must be sensitive to those who have put in effort to decide to invest in farming. You must be sensitive before you go on destroying crops. It's a very sad thing. Some of our people have very strong attachment to animals like cows and bulls. But some of our cultures have very strong attachment, equal, if not more, to crops. So it is wrong to treat this like trash by sending tractors over people's lands without proper permission from the person who has put all that effort. So I sympathize with the petitioner here, Mr. Francis Otieno, and I want to tell you that you should not stop here. Go on and find your rights. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute.
Very well. Next is Senator Okenyuri Esther Anyeni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to comment on the report by the Roads Committee, and I equally share the sentiment of the Tana River Senator Mungatana, because I feel after actually going through their recommendations, observations, I feel it was very unfair for the committee to just say that the petitioner should refer the matter to appropriate bodies, as the Senate is not mandated to arbitrate or adjudicate private disputes. Mr. Speaker, the bottom line is that Mr. Otieno never received justice. So just by us as a committee ignoring, I think the committee deserved to go a step further and even try to give some kind of reprieve or advice for Mr. Otieno, because Mr. Otieno in this matter is a member of the public, and when members of the public come to the Senate, they hope, like we as their representatives, are going to look into their issues and speak on their behalf. So we can also not be part of the tossing that they are undergoing out there, Mr. Speaker, because for them to come to Parliament, they are looking at Parliament as the last resort for them. So, Mr. Speaker, I feel like for me, the committee recommendations are not convincing enough, because Mr. Otieno has not received the justice that he needed, because some of the facts are not disputed. Like like the sugarcane was destroyed, they have not disputed that. So when you say he needs to look for other avenues for him to get compensation, I really fail to understand, because already it's been proven that his sugarcane was destroyed and different assessment was done, and what is the discussion here is there were different amounts of compensation that were actually suggested. Maybe that should have been the point of discussion, not tossing him around to look for other avenues of getting redress, Mr. Speaker. So I share my views that the recommendations are not satisfactory. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Joyce Chepkoech, Korir.
Mike?
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also contribute on this report by the committee. Honorable Speaker, I would want to stand with the rest of the members in terms of how the committee has handled this matter, and I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, that since the matter is before the Senate, it would be prudent for this House to give justice to Mr. Otieno, and I would want to request, Honorable Speaker, that the committee should move further in terms of having a thorough investigation and fact findings to see the best way forward in terms of making sure that justice is served to Mr. Otieno, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I submit. Thank you.
Sorry. Honorable Senators, there is no other senator willing to contribute to this motion. Therefore, we defer, move her to reply. We defer that bit until maybe next time. Next one.
Order number 16, motion, consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and networking engagements in Laikipia and Meru counties.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Chair, let me move the motion. Mr. Speaker, consideration of the reports of the Standing Committee of the Health on the County Oversight Network Engagement in Laikipia and the Meru County. Mr. Speaker, these reports before the House contain the reports of the outcome of the comprehensive evidence gathering exercise undertaken by the Committee on Health to oversight deliveries of the medical service, public health sanitation in Laikipia and Meru County in 18 to 20th of June 2025. The oversight visits were adopted as a mode of the operation by the committee in order to gather the evidence and the argument information received within the presence of the parliaments and the key part of the how it engaged with the members of the public. Mr. Speaker, the primary objective of this engagement was critical to our oversight role, and these include to assess and state the quality of the infrastructure, the facility and hospital equipment and provision of the emergency service. Secondly, to assess the availability of the healthcare personnel, the gaps and the challenges faced by these counties regarding human resource for health. 3, to assess the availability of drugs and medical supply in the health facility. 4, to obtain the information on SHA, the facility accreditation, and the pending bills on medical, Kenya Medical Supply Agency, KEMSA. With the committee identify the visit, the following health facilities in the 2 counties we have visited. 1, Nyahururu County Referral Hospital and Nyanyuki Teaching Referral Hospital in Laikipia, and Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital, Timau Hospital, Sub-County Hospital, and Kibirichi Sub-County Hospital in Meru. Mr. Speaker, the committee identifies several critical challenges, impact, and healthcare delivery in both county, that is Laikipia and Meru County. These challenges are structural, undermining the quality and accessibility of the healthcare. Mr. Speaker, the Laikipia County is characterized by the overstretching resources and depleting the infrastructure. The healthcare facilities face a unique funding strain as they serve the residents both from 6 county neighboring, that is Nyeri, Samburu, Nakuru, Isiolo, Meru, and Nyandarua, thereby overstretching both human and financial resources. Nevertheless, we witness the infrastructure deficit in the facility visited. The healthcare facility structure is in critical states of disrepair Observation at Nyahururu County Referral Hospital include missing windows panels, broken tiles, and deteriorated ceiling and damages of beddings. Mr. Speaker, the maternity and outpatient department in Nanyuki County Referral Hospital were extremely overcrowded, and all the maternity ward, shortage of beds, compiling of some women to share the single beds, raising a serious concern regarding the infection risk and patient discomfort. Nyahururu Referral Hospital also experienced the patient sharing of beds due to the overstretching of the capacity. There is also a shortage of acute infant incubator in the newborn unit in Nyanyuki Referral Hospital, and the committee observed that they makeshift the incubator, such as they are using a carton, that is a carton box, for reports for the incubators. Mr. Speaker, both facilities visited in Laikipia lack the operational ICU beds. The committee further observed that mortuary facilities are severely overstretched. Nyahururu County Referral Hospital designed for 18 bodies, but when we visited, there are 61 bodies. Nyanyuki Referral Hospital designed for only 12 bodies, but they are handling 62 bodies. Laikipia County also reported the persistent drug supply challenges from KEMSA, with all reorder level rated ranging between 50 and 70%. Insufficiency in management also leads to prevalence of the expiring pharmaceutical and unused medical stocks at both facilities. Sadly, incinerator at Nyahururu Referral Hospital was non-functioning, resulting in hazard and accumulations of the medical and biohazard waste. Mr. Speaker, in Meru County, the committee observed that the health care facilities with a referral strain. The Meru Referral Hospital caters to estimate a population of 1.4 million people. In addition, the patients from the surrounding counties, compounding of the budget pressures, and particularly for critical and specialized service. The committee observed that in Timau sub-county, service from a chronic human resource for health shortage, and during this visit, only 2 pharmacists and 8 clinical officers were reported to be working at the facilities. The maternity ward is deserted due to the poor infrastructure and possible staffing challenges, lacking dedicated theater and also a newborn unit. Mr. Speaker, a critical project, including the mortuary, that is Timau, had installed. One of the buildings was condemned for structural instability, and of particular concern, the facility was using a burned asbestos for roofing. That is violating occupational safety standard. Mr. Speaker, Kibirichi County Sub-County Hospital, we visited impromptu. They are lacking a critical infrastructures like functioning mortuary, staff housing, and specialized units, and other operational ambulance at the facility was poorly maintained and was used for storing the expiry drugs. At Meru County Referral Hospital, the committee observed congestions and equipment failed, and the maternity ward were congested with some patients sharing beds due to the high referral inflow. The mortuary designs for 60 bodies, but they are having 200 bodies at the time of the visit. reflecting a wide infrastructural challenges. The committee also observed that the meds, that is equipment, that is ICU, HDU equipment provided under meds programs are out of services due to lack of maintenance support after the contract expired. The renal units, only 5 functioning. Hemodialysis machines out of 10 due to the lack of consumable and reagents. Mr. Speaker, committee also considered it is finding into 4 primary systematic challenges that are hindering the healthcare delivery in the devolution units. These include the health sector funding, the human resource for the health and the health infrastructure and provision of the management of the health product and technology. Both the county increased their health sector budget, funding remaining insufficient related to the magnitude of the devolved health needs and the population served. The majority of the health budget are consumed by the staff salaries and the drug supplies, leaving limited resource for the infrastructure development and the equipment acquisitions and the service expansions. The development allocations are frequently under-implemented and reallocated to cover immediate recurrent expenditure, resulting in incomplete projects such as mortuaries and incinerator. Mr. Speaker, the committee also observed that Meru County is highly dependent on the SHA reimbursement to cover the wage bill, but delays and inconsistency or severe strain the facilities in liquidity. Both counties face inadequate number of the healthcare workers across nearly all the departments. This shortage due to natural attribution and expanding of the scope of the services, meaning the existence of the staff are overburdened and leading to burnout and decline in the quality of the healthcare. Distribution of the healthcare disappropriately favor the higher level hospitals, leaving the sub-counties and preferably the facilities severely understaffed, with a rural area particularly vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, the specialized healthcare workers in critical care, that is pharmacy, laboratory science, and mental health remain scarce. These shortages was compiled facilities to implement inappropriate task shifting, whereby less skilled staff undertaking specialized roles and advance affecting patients' safety. Facility infrastructures in critical states of disrepair, with significant defects observed, including missing the window panels and broken tiles and depleted roof, fallen ceiling, and condemning structures. The critical projects such as mortuary and the waste disposal system and ICU are either installed and incomplete. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee also continue of using of banned materials such as asbestos roofing and compromised safety, inadequate waste management system explained by the non-working incinerator, having resulted in hazard accumulation of the waste. Mr. Speaker, the healthcare facilities lack essential equipment, demonstrating by the critical shortage of incubator beds and equipment and functional dialysis machines and outdated laboratory items. The absence of digital inventory and the supply chain management system has led to frequent discrepancy between the record and actual stock level. This is sufficient restocking and contribution to the loss and the wastage. Accumulation of the expiry drugs was a common occurrence frequently stored in unlocked or inappropriate locations. Mr. Speaker, most of the hospital we have visited, the expiry drugs are on the shelf of the pharmacy, resulting to the risk of accidental dispensing and posing the serious breach of the patient safety standard. The reports present comprehensive analysis and make firm recommendation aiming at strengthening healthcare system, enhancing accountability, and ensure investment translate into the tangible service delivery improvement. The committee recommends as directed to the key stakeholders. One is the Pharmacy and Poison Board must establish and ensure the robust protocol for pharmaceutical waste management and proper disposal of the expired drugs, and they must undertake a regular audit, ensure the expired drugs are prompt withdrawn and safety destroyed, table the audit reports to the Senate every 6 months. Furthermore, the PPB should implement a digital inventory management system across all the facilities in 47 counties to ensure retrievable and efficiency. The Council of Governors must direct all the county governments to expedite operationalization of the Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023 to enable retentions and transplant use of the facility-generated revenue for infrastructure and service upgrade. Meru County specifically needs to enact this legislation to retain the facility-generated revenue. The committee has also recommended the governor that Laikipia County must convert the healthcare workers under a short-term contract into a permanent and pensionable term, invest in a continuous professional development, and ensure a timely payment of the salary and statutory remittance to the improve the motivation and retention. The governor must also upgrade the healthcare facilities by expanding a unit, operationalization of the ICU, and completing and install projects such as mortuary and incinerator. Mr. Speaker, the challenges identify and overcrowded wards and critical equipment shortages and staff burnout and the lapse in the pharmaceutical safety demand immediately attention and comprehensive commitment from all levels of the government. It is now my pleasure, Mr. Speaker, and duty and privilege to present these reports and the Standing Committee for consideration and approval of the House on Standing Order. Mr. Speaker, with this, Mr. Speaker, we wanted to, let me add also some issues, Mr. Speaker, with these counties. We need to implement, they must implement our reports, the recommendation as soon as possible. Mr. Speaker, the health is devolved and we need all the counties to be upstanding and take the recommendation and must be initiated as soon as possible so that the service delivery of the citizen must be adhered to. Mr. Speaker, with this, I want Senator Cherargei to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cherargei, are you a member of the Health Committee?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I want to thank my sister, my elder sister, Senator Sheikh Omar, who is the Vice Chairperson of Health Committee, for ably moving. And I know, Mr. Speaker, you are very interested with this report because it touches on Meru also and Nanyuki. Mr. Speaker, I think you need to protect me from Senator Tabita and Senator Okia Omtata. Interestingly, Okia Omtata has dressed like there is a wedding today. I think you need to revise your speaker's rules, because I think it's okay. It's approaching December, but he should wait until the weddings are many in Busia, Mr. Speaker. He's in a celebratory mood after what he said in the morning. Mr. Speaker, as I rise to move, I am impressed by the report, and I want to request the Committee on Health to visit Kericho, to visit Nandi, to visit Nakuru, to visit all counties virtually. Mr. Speaker, I've already insisted that if we want to know the functionality of devolution, is only one yardstick, the issue of health. If health is working, devolution is working. I remember when, I don't know whether Kericho County Referral Hospital has been open. How do you close an hospital? If you want to see the wonders of world, just visit Kericho County, and you will be shocked. How do you close an hospital in Kericho? Mr. Speaker, I have never had. It's like closing a police station. Even Nakuru War Memorial Hospital, Mr. Speaker. You know, I'm always surprised that the seventh wonder of wild beast migration is what is happening in the devolution sector in this country, Mr. Speaker. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, let us ensure devolution works. And I'm happy one of the committees that is defining this session of Parliament is Health Committee, Mr. Speaker. There are many challenges that is bedefiling this sector. Mr. Speaker, like when you look at Laikipia County, the issues, I think generally, I can just give an upshot, is the issue of a number of health workers across all. We have inadequate number. And Mr. Speaker, what shocks me is, for example, counties have gone beyond 35% that is recommended for the wage bill. In fact, like Muranga yesterday, Mr. Speaker, they asked 54%. Meru is above 35% that is provided by law. Nandi is approaching 60%. Kisii is approaching 60%. Nairobi is worse off. It's more than 35. Nairobi is going to the craziest numbers, Mr. Speaker. Yet when you go to hospital, you are being told there are no adequate staff to serve a critical sector. Like in Meru, like in Nanyuki, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another issue is overburden and, burnout, Mr. Speaker. Why is it that governors are hiring people who carry their seats to official functions or even toilets, VIP toilets, but they cannot hire nurses and doctors and gynecologists, Mr. Speaker, and pediatricians to assist our daughters, our people, Mr. Speaker? We went to Busia, and I was there, I was shocked. Busia County Referral Hospital. In fact, Busia should be declared a crime scene. Busia County Referral Hospital does not even, Mr. Speaker, let alone the small facility. Busia County Referral Hospital does not even have a functional ambulance. A county referral hospital. We have a problem. And I hope and I believe when the report on health will be tabled, we shall be able to discuss, Mr. Speaker. The next issue I wanted to point out is on the infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, it's sad that there is critical state of disrepair. Window panes, broken tiles, dilapidated roofs, falling ceilings, and condemned structures. Mr. Speaker, it looks like when you visit hospitals in Nanyuki and Meru, you become more sick. That's very sad. Because that is the report I have read, Mr. Speaker. You become more sicker. In fact, that is when you work now, Mr. Speaker, you work to an hospital. You become more sick. Let us be honest, Mr. Speaker. In fact, when I visited Kapsabet County Referral Hospital recently, they cannot even wash bed sheets. Then how can they treat the patients, Mr. Speaker? What? They cannot even wash bed sheets, Mr. Speaker, even cleaning the hospital. The poor lighting. Before even you discuss, I went to the abolition block that belongs to the patients, Mr. Speaker. It is pathetic. Mr. Speaker, when you go there, I met some patients who were telling me in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, let us go and die at home. I almost cried. And you know, for a dry Kalenjin man to cry, Mr. Speaker, it's not easy, it's a curse. Mr. Speaker, and I wanted to point another several sections remain under-equipped with crucial projects such as mortuary, Mr. Speaker. You have had the County Referral Hospital of Meru. It has been, the mortuary is 60. It has 200 bodies, Mr. Speaker. Yani, you suffer while alive, and you also suffer in death, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate, even mortuary. These governors cannot buy the refrigerators to keep the bodies, Mr. Speaker. Even dignity in death is a problem in our counties, Mr. Speaker. Nandi, in fact, Meru County Referral Hospital is better, it has a mortuary. In Nandi, we don't have. We don't have a mortuary. The 100 million that was allocated by Governor Sang has disappeared to thin air. Maybe he wants to run for MP in Aldai. Mr. Speaker, and that is why there is waste disposal systems like syringes, use samples, Mr. Speaker, like blood and many others, Mr. Speaker. There is also ICU. I thought after the COVID, the counties learned something about ICU, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what shocks, and I want to take to the, as I second to the House now, can you believe Nanyuki allocates in financial year 2024-2025, the county allocated 1.03 billion to the health sector. But you have had the problems, Mr. Speaker. And I'm going to demonstrate. One, in fact, the recurrent was 206 million and 822 million for development expenditure. In fact, in the financial year, they had spent only 33.7 million and 39.9 million on development. But they are condemned buildings. There is missing window panes. Mortuary is not functional. Mr. Speaker, the where incinerator where you destroy so that it is fair to the environment, like syringes, blood samples, and many others, Mr. Speaker, are not functional. You mean our counties are sunk this low, Mr. Speaker? Even to construct an incinerator where you just put bricks and put somewhere just a simple thing, Mr. Speaker? Is this how devolution has sunk, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, let me go to your county, the county I respect so much, the county of Jurinjeke, Mr. Speaker, the county of Katuri Murungi. In the financial year 2024-2025, the county and Mokoro, the county allocated 3.782 billion to the health sector, of which 2.983 billion is for recurrent expenditure and 798 million allocated for development expenditure. But you don't have a mortuary. Window panes are missing. You don't have an incinerator. I will demonstrate shortly. The only person who has seen billions in this room, Mr. Speaker, is only the Senator of Nakuru, Senator Tabitha Keroche. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, and it is called girl power. Mr. Speaker, up to the second quarter, the county had spent 1.4 billion recurrent, and there is no drugs in Meru. What are they spending on? Mr. Speaker, and it is good you are sitting on that seat as we discuss your report. Mr. Speaker, 441 million on development. Even in Facilities Improvement Act, in the financial year 2024-2025, the county had collected 41.3 million, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker. And you know, the reason I'm using Senator of Nakuru that he has seen the billion, so that he can explain to us what billion means to the development, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me quickly point out two issues only in Laikipia. Then I conclude with your county, Meru, Mr. Speaker. Only on Nyahururu County Referral Hospitals, Mr. Speaker. The argument, and I've had this argument by counties, that Nyahururu County Referral Hospital is treating patients from Samburu, from Nyeri, from Nakuru, from Nyandarua, Mr. Speaker, which doesn't make sense, Mr. Speaker. Even a total of newborn dialysis machines, Mr. Speaker, and in fact, while the mortuary has 18 bodies, however, there were 61 bodies preserved at the mortuary, in Nyahururu County Referral Hospital. 18 bodies, but they are keeping out 61, Mr. Speaker. It means the bodies are being stacked like a slices of bread, Mr. Speaker. So it's very unfortunate. The issue of overcrowding at the Nyahururu County Referral Hospital is very unfortunate. The issue of pharmaceutical, Mr. Speaker, which are infrastructure and maintenance, in fact, it is very bad because the infrastructure is poor there. Mr. Speaker, you can see, I'm happy there are photos. I wish colleagues could have this report. You can see in photos, Mr. Speaker, the situation. Even this one that is a dental unit, I want to believe this is a dental unit. Mr. Speaker, it is dilapidated, the building itself. I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, even waste management, the photo has been provided in this report. They cannot even manage the waste. What is it to the environment, Mr. Speaker? It is very unfortunate. Even in pharmacy, and I want to thank President, Mr. Speaker, because he has directed KEMSA to do last mile distribution of drugs. In Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, the same issue. You now have tried to condense all issues. The issue of mortuary is an issue, critical care, stock supply, overcrowding, and pharmaceutical records is still a problem in Nanyuki, Mr. Speaker, County Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, and it is very unfortunate. Patient and dietary needs, Mr. Speaker, I'm told there, the food they give patients in Nanyuki County Referral Hospital cannot be given to a normal human being in Nanyuki. So, Speaker, you know when you are sick, you need like proteins, carbohydrates, maybe vegetables. But I'm told there, Mr. Speaker, they are giving out mostly to, we know that area has potatoes, but that is not the justification to feed potatoes and kiteri to the patients. Patients need to recover by eating very well. And you know they allocate, Mr. Speaker, this money. This money does not belong to governors. It belongs to the people of Kenya. So, Speaker, let me land now properly to your county, Meru County, and start with Timau. I'll just be making quick observation. In Timau, Mr. Speaker, infrastructure and human resource, in fact, insufficient and obsolete equipment. And you remember you have allocated more than 3.something billion Kenya shillings to the health sector. But when you go to Timau, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the photos, I'm happy the committee did provide photos. This place is deserted, and there are so many stalled and incomplete projects in Timau. The governor must up his game. So, Speaker, we know there were challenges at the beginning of county government, but that one is not justification for poor performance in terms of incomplete projects in Timau. In fact, the issue of land asset, that one, the asset register must be looked. The issue of waste, Mr. Speaker, and I don't know, this is a very simple thing. The incinerator, to manage the waste that comes from the hospital, like syringes, like other waste that are generated from Timau, Mr. Speaker. That is of particular concern. Mr. Speaker, let me go to Kibiricha Sub-County Hospital. There are similar issues in pharmaceutical and supply chains, Mr. Speaker, infrastructure and equipment. In fact, there are no theaters and laundry, Mr. Speaker. Even washing bed sheets in Kibiricha that has used in Sub-County Hospital is not being done, and non-functional, raising concern. So, Speaker, I agree that the issue of human resources is a cross-cutting issue among this hospital. The issue of pharmacy and drugs is still a problem in Kibiricha, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue of ambulance is only one that is functional in Kibiricha Sub-County Hospital. And you can imagine the population of Meru County is quite significant. So you have only one ambulance in Kibiricha which is operational, and the allegations we are getting is that apart from expired drugs, you must pay to use that ambulance. Just what we do in Nandi. In Nandi, if you have to use an ambulance in any facility, you must give out 1,000 for fuel, which I found it very unfortunate in this day and era, undermining Article 43 of the Constitution. Finally, Speaker, is to conclude with Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital. The issue of mortuary is still a problem. Mental health services, inpatient and psychiatric, Mr. Speaker, and they are getting from Mandera. But, Mr. Speaker, this issue of mental health is very critical. It is very important. Mental health we must take. There is so depression. People are committing suicide, Mr. Speaker. As we even approach to elections, people who lose elections, they also need mental health care, Mr. Speaker. There is postpartum issues of mental health care, Mr. Speaker. I've seen one of our colleagues is almost getting mental problems over Malava, Mr. Speaker, elections. So this issue of mental should be taken seriously, Mr. Speaker. It's a serious issue. The depression is real. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm not allowed to name without substantive motion understanding order 101. No, you know that the person I'm referring to. Mr. Speaker, the issue of ICU, issue of maternity. Mr. Speaker, God has commanded us in Genesis, just 1 minute so that I conclude. God has commanded us in Genesis that we must fill the earth. The people of Meru deserves better maternity services to ensure they continue to procreate for numbers and even for God ordained, Mr. Speaker. The issue of oncology and cancer center, those are issues, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, by and large, this report has really give detail, and I hope colleagues, I would want to sit and listen. As I second, Mr. Speaker, I congratulate the committee for this wonderful report and thank the committee as we go to New Year. Please make sure you visit a number of facilities across, Mr. Speaker. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, it is now my humble duty and honor to second this report on the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and network engagements in Laikipia and Meru counties. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate endorse the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight networking engagements in Laikipia and Meru counties, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 11th November 2025. So now I call upon senators wishing to contribute. Let me start with this senior Linda Cherio Tarun, Kipkurui, so that you can go and do other duties of the nation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's why with age comes wisdom.
Of course, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I must appreciate you. Mr. Speaker, I must first begin by commending the Committee on Health. This is one of the most active committees of this House, and I appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that consistently they bring reports to this House laying bare the true state of the nation and the true state of devolution as expected by our Constitution in Article 96, Mr. Speaker. We represent counties and their interest. Mr. Speaker, I must appreciate that the county governments continue to struggle, and indeed, Senator Cherargei is right when he exposes that the true measure of performance at county level is provision of health services. And if you want to know a county governor who is working, Mr. Speaker, you check on the state of health facilities in their county. And if you also want to know a thief of a county governor and the county government, Mr. Speaker, you see the operations. You will hear it. Because one of the most difficult things to hide, Mr. Speaker, is provision of health services because it is immediate. And when people walk into health facilities, they can tell whether that health facility is working or not working, Mr. Speaker. And I must appreciate this new way of working by our committees in the form of field studies. Because I see every week a particular committee is visiting a county. They are checking on ECD centers, the Committee on Education. You find the Committee on Trade. I saw another time they were checking on markets and things like that, much as many of the markets are actually being built by national government. It is my hope that between this December recess, we will manage to convince our colleagues in the National Assembly, as they pass the budget, to at least part of the portion of the Affordable Housing Fund that is being used to develop markets, it should be part of what is being devolved to counties. I understand their concerns about the costing and all these things, the quality of the works that should be done. But I read the report and I have listened to I don't know if you listened, Senator Mungatana, to the leadership atop the Ministry of Lands and Housing. And one of the things they struggle with, they said it's as a procuring entity, the nature of the contracts that they have to enter runs into the 100. I believe counties have capacity. We should allow them to do some of these things. We can agree and say these are the standardized costs beyond which a market shouldn't go beyond, like what Public Works used to do back in the day when things were working well before corruption took over the public sector. Because again,